of Christmas, I found this article by Game Rant, and I really want to discuss this real quick because this opinion is not only crazy, but it's wrong by a long shot for a few reasons. So the article basically implies that Silent Hill 1 was a better psychological horror game than any of the Resident Evil games ever. Mind you, this article came out on December 6th of 2021. Putting aside the very real argument that Silent Hill as a franchise created psychological horror, it's a little crazy to say that the very first Silent Hill game, as successful as it was scarier than any of the Resident Evil games in the franchise. For starters, Resident Evil Biohazard exists, and that has been the standard for most horror games since its release in 2017. Silent Hills, the game that was supposed to be released after PT, even took inspiration from Biohazard. Moreover, Silent Hill 1 by today's standards is not a scary game. Its mechanics have been used and abused over decades, so playing it for the horror is probably not the reason most people would visit or revisit it. Honestly, Silent Hill's entire scary mechanic is music cues and scenery. Nothing wrong with that, but in today's game standards, that's just not as good as what many recent horror titles have done, especially Resident Evil. And for the people who are bound to say that Silent Hill shouldn't be rated in today's standards when it was released in 1999, if Game Rant is saying that it beats the RE franchise to date, it should be graded in the same way recent Resident Evil titles have been. So yeah, as much as many people may love Silent Hill, which is totally fine, it was a cool franchise, it's a yoga stretch to say that it was scarier than any Resident Evil game. John from Game Rant. And another thing, saying Resident Evil is a global mega franchise doesn't mean that Silent Hill couldn't have been, and at one point wasn't as big as Resident Evil. Konami is a bigger company and makes more money than Capcom does by a long shot, and Silent Hill 1 did just as good as the original Resident Evil. But that's all I wanted to say. This article was something different. Now, what am I talking about for day 10 of the 12 Days of Christmas? Oh, wow, Silent Hill. That's a coincidence. At the writing of this script, Slitterhead, a horror game made by Silent Hill creator Keiichiro Toya, I'm so sorry for butchering that, is making the rounds on most gaming news websites because it could be the new Silent Hill successor. And this got me thinking. I made the Silent Hill retrospective about 4 months ago. Has anything changed since that video's publishing? Well, no. Kinda. Let me clarify this off the bat. There are no confirmations of a new Silent Hill game coming anytime soon by any party involved in this polyamory affair of ambitious circumstances. But I feel it's important to stay ambiguous about Silent Hill because a new rumor has made some waves and it seems pretty cool. In October of this year, Inverse reported about Silent Hill's new project that may or may not be happening, but probably is, at least being thought of at the grease-bin Capcom knockoff piece of shit game company we all know and hate, Konami. The article talks about a multitude of things, and it pains me to say that most are stuff I already discussed in the retrospective I did a while back. But one thing I didn't know then that I do know now is that if there were a Silent Hill project being worked on, it would be a soft reboot of the series. And this is pretty cool. Having a reboot would, as I've said in numerous videos about numerous franchises, allow new players to experience older games in ways that keep them invested while also giving old fans a new nostalgia that, while isn't perfect, if done correctly, can be a great and new experience. And as to who is making it, the rumors are split between Kojima Productions, with funding from Sony, and Bloober Team, which I discussed in the retrospective. I got my money on Bloober Team, even though both parties are unlikely to be doing anything Silent Hill related at the moment. Bloober Team flat out denied they were working on a Silent Hill game in the summer, and Kojima has had his own things to focus on. All this to say, I wanted to provide a small update to the whole Silent Hill situation. Why didn't I review a Silent Hill game? Because I was too busy reviewing like 4 other games, unfortunately. When should you expect a Silent Hill game review? Probably January or February. Also, I found this article by Screen Rant talking about which Silent Hill monster you are based on your zodiac sign. I swear, everyone hates BuzzFeed until they become BuzzFeed. But thank you for tuning in to day 10 of Bluestuff's 12 Days of Christmas. We're almost there! It's almost Christmas! Gee, I sure hope tomorrow I don't get a present of a console that I've had for years that was a huge failure on Sony's part. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can see my super secret final video, which is also my Christmas present to you guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.